Jiggy with it. This guy's got some alright songs, you know. His numbers are pretty good as well. 8 million a month, not bad, eh? I doubt he would have won anything as a rapper. All his raps are clean. How good was Will Smith the rapper, actually?
Willard Carroll Smith II. What do you know him as? The first thing that comes to mind, and maybe the only thing that comes to mind, is Will Smith the actor. The younger generation will definitely know him as the actor. The genie in Aladdin, or the guy from Men in Black. But a lot of my age mates would have first heard him from his raps. In fact, one of the first albums I ever recall listening to was DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince Greatest Hits on my mum's iPod Nano. For all the kids out there, this was Apple's first major invention that got them big in the tech market. It was a small music box full of albums and songs that you bought. Yes, you had to buy songs that you wanted to listen to back then. But back to the point, I first remember him being a rapper. And after coming across that old iPod Nano a few weeks ago, I thought to myself, how good was Will Smith the rapper? What did he win? Was he as good as I remember him to be? So in this video, I go over, how good was Will Smith the rapper, actually? Born Willard Carroll Smith II on the 25th of September 1968 to a well-off family in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia. His father was an engineer and an Air Force veteran, and his mother was an administrator for a school board. He went to a private school of Catholicism. Smith had been listening to rap from an early age, from the likes of Grandmaster Flash to Sugar Hill Gang. He had begun to write his own lyrics when he was about 12 years old. He kept a notebook full of his original pieces. Unluckily for him, his grandmother found said notebook. It was full of words that his grandmother didn't like. Swears. She gave him a bollocking and told him that it doesn't make you come across smart if you swear. At roughly the same time, a man who plays an essential part in how Will Smith's career turned out was also getting into music. A 10-year-old kid by the name of Jeffrey Towns had been going to a lot of block parties, but he wasn't there for the party, he was there for the music. This kid would sit at the turntables whilst others danced, taking notes of what goes where, how to play, how to make people dance using this machine. He wanted to be the one who was known for making people enjoy themselves and escape their lives through music, even if it was just for an hour. He decided to go by the mantra, Jazzy Jeff. Their fates would collide when they were 18 years old, when they were both at the same house party. As it happens, Towns was DJing for the party, and his hype man, the guy who hypes up the crowd, didn't show up for the start of the set, with Smith yet to prove himself, yet being ambitious enough to think he can hype. Spoke to DJ Jazzy Jeff to be the stand-in until the hype man actually arrived. This would be the start of their legacy, and it all coincidentally happened because they went to the same house party and the hype man just so happened to be late. They decided to give a stage name to their newly formed partnership, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. This was about 1986. Here's something that you probably didn't know. There was actually a third member of the group. Smith had recruited his friend, a beatboxer by the name of Ready Rock C. His main role was live support, but other than that, I couldn't find much else about him. There's one thing that you can take away from this video at least. The first song that the group had managed to create was now being performed by them at parties and small club events. It was the song Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. Jeff had the idea to sample the theme song of a 60s show called I Dream of Jenny. Smith had been writing down bars about some trouble that he'd been having with girls and how he's been let down by some of them. He had been writing recounts of events that actually happened and tells a story of how girls ain't nothing but trouble. The beat and the verses go hand in hand, and they now had a song that was ready to go out. But they had a small problem. They couldn't ship it out to the masses. They simply didn't know how. As it happens, the famous Oakenfold was looking to recruit new hip-hop talent and was picking up mixtapes of artists from the streets in Philly. Oakenfold had an immense reputation as a recruiter and DJ, producing tracks for the Rolling Stones and remixing guys like U2. The newly formed group's tape just so happened to be the first one that Oakenfold listened to. He loved the chemistry of the duo and the flow of the Prince, and got in contact with them right away to ship out their single. They then signed for Oakenfold's label, Champion Records. Their single was released to the world on the 9th of November 1986. It was a big success. It reached 57th on the Billboard Hot 100, managing to outplay some heavy hitters like Luther Vandross. The duo had now garnered a terrific reputation of great storytelling, immense flow, nostalgic beats, and family-friendly raps. Remember what I told you earlier? Will Smith doesn't swear? Keep in mind, when that single came out, Will Smith hadn't even graduated high school yet. The big success that came off their single would lead to bigger labels and bigger A&R guys to encounter. A&R stands for Artists and Repertoire, basically scouts for music labels. Their success had caught the attention of Jive Records and Def Jam owner Russell Simmons. He had found the likes of LL Cool J and the Beastie Boys, some big names, but the duo ended up signing for Jive Records. Some time had passed and the pair had now written and finished enough songs to make an album. They decided to call it Rock the House. The album was released to the world in 1987 and did big numbers, having sold over 500,000 copies, making it gold certified. This will be the first accolade that Will Smith picks up. Do you think it'll be the last in this tale? The duo will be up for a new award a year later, with the release of their next album, He's the DJ and I'm the Rapper. It went absolutely fucking massive, going 3 times platinum, the duo's biggest project so far. The award that the duo was up for wasn't very well known in the rap community. It was a little trophy that went by the name of a Grammy. The nomination was for their song Parents Just Don't Understand, under the new category Best Rap Performance. And it won. Will Smith has a Grammy, the first to win it at the 31st Annual Grammys. Now he has the credit to infiltrate the scene deeply and create a long-lasting career. Just when things couldn't get any better for Mr. Smith, they got a whole lot worse. The following year, he lived lavishly and spent a fuckload of money, like any 20-year-old that managed to get the mother load of cash. He had spent a bit too much and had forgotten to pay his taxes, which was worth $2.8 million. Shame for the IRS, Will Smith didn't have $2.8 million, so they garnered his assets for cash as an alternative. Little Willie was now skint, no cash. His next album, In This Corner, did well, going gold, giving him some cash, but a lot of that had to go to debts he owed. He was so poor that he had to borrow cash from a dealer in Philly. Will Smith said this about the situation in a conference reported by Business Insider. "I didn't forget, I just didn't pay. I had to sell everything, and I knew whatever my new life was going to be, I could feel it was going to be in Los Angeles. So I borrowed $10,000 from a friend of mine who was a purveyor of neighbourhood pharmaceuticals." A solution to the low cash flow had entered Smith's life. A new sitcom that CBS wanted to launch, based around the Philadelphia rapper. A show called The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith wrote the theme song for the show, which would further boost his next album. He was now a massive star, being shown across the world, on the biggest sitcom at the time. He got more gold for this, but not for the song this time. A Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy Series. The next album, which was released in 1991, was called Home Base. It has the group's biggest song on it, the song which the duo is remembered for, Summertime. With the boost from TV and the media surrounding his death, the duo had managed to get another platinum under their belt, which means they had sold over 1 million copies. This hit had also garnered them another Grammy, again for Best Rap Performance by a duo or group. I know, Will Smith has 2 Grammys. Who would have thought? Remember that third member of the group, Ready Rock C? Yeah, he left the group about the same time Will and Jeff won the second Grammy. The Wikipedia page on C says that he left because Will was taking the spotlight for himself. Other than that, there's not much else written about it. Maybe it was out of jealousy. Jeff was on the show, but C wasn't, and he was hardly ever seen on live performances. He became a bit of a background character. He tried to be a bit cheeky and sue the initial duo for a third of their earnings in 1990, but his case was dropped due to an expired statute of limitations. The duo would release one last album together, Code Red, in 1993. It would be another gold medal under the belt of Will Smith. This would be the last album of the duo, because our main character was about to go solo. But let's recap what they have managed to win together. So we have a total of 2 Grammys, 4 Platinums, and 3 Gold certifications. That's a career that some rappers dream of having. But Smith's rap story doesn't end here. He had decided to go solo. Him and Jeff were a bit split, doing their own things. Will was getting bigger and bigger as an actor, and Jeff was doing heavy sets. But they are technically still together. They actually performed together just last year. His solo career was launched at the same time as Men in Black, debatably his biggest film. Big Willie Style was the name of the album. It even contained the theme song of the previously mentioned film, which sampled Forget Me Nots by Patrice Rushen. It was an astronomical hit, being the third best selling rap album on its release. It went 9-fold platinum. Yes, you heard that correctly. 9 times platinum. There were only 3 rappers that had sold more albums at the time. In numbers, that means at least 9 million copies were sold. I haven't even taken into account the numbers for the rest of the world. Big Willie Style also has the track that I was listening to at the start, Gettin Jiggy with it. This is Will Smith's biggest song in terms of recognisability. It has all the aspects of a typical Will Smith song. Funny, storytelling, clean and cheeky. It's a lot like the first song he released, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble. This was also his first #1 on the charts as well. The album had 2 giant hits, with Men in Black and Gettin Jiggy with it. They were both nominated for the best solo rap performance at the Grammys. And he won it again. That's right, Will Smith has 4 Grammys, more than Nelly and Ludacris, the same amount as Future and just 1 less than Drake. Outstanding really. Will was about to be a main character in another film, a film that he would come to regret being a part of, Wild Wild West. Released in 1999, Wild Wild West is a steampunk western film set around the Civil War. It's a really weird film. There's this scene where a character called Loveless has this giant spider looking tank. The film was a massive flop though, it only just about broke budget. It tanked Will Smith's career as an actor a little bit. He even turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix to play this role. But if he did, then Keanu Reeves' career might not have panned out the way it did. Will made the main theme for the film, also called Wild Wild West. Even though the film stunk, Will won an award for the song, called the Golden Raspberry. The Golden Raspberry is basically the opposite of the Oscars, giving awards to the worst films of the year. So Will Smith won an award for the worst original song for a movie. But it did go gold though, so that's another goal for Will Smith. In the same year Wild Wild West was released, Will Smith had released his next album, Will-Lennium. Again, another big hit. It managed to go double platinum and peaked at #5 in the charts. Mr. Smith had then taken a hiatus from music for about 4 years, focusing on Ali, released in 2001, a biopic about Muhammad Ali. It was Will Smith's best technical performance so far, and he obtained a Golden Globe nomination for it. The next year, in 2002, Will Smith released his new project called Born to Reign. It was decent, it went gold and reached 13 in the charts. There are no songs of note on this album. Unluckily for Will, the rap scene was changing, with names like Eminem and Lil Wayne setting the pace in terms of style. It was the complete opposite of Will Smith's style. The new style of rap was a lot more vulgar and a lot less story based. He was just unfortunate that the times had changed, and his style didn't cut the mustard anymore. So what did Will do to scratch this new itch of hip hop fans? He changed his style. Not majorly, but it's very noticeable. The album is called Lost and Found. It was more violent towards other rappers, and there's a lot of self-deprecating humour on there. He knew that people were coming for him, for being an actor, and they were saying that he was a has-been. I think it's probably his best project released after the turn of the millennium. The song Switch is probably the best song on the album. It matches perfectly with Smith's smooth flow on a classic R&B beat. The project went gold, and it did better than Born to Reign, as it managed to reach top 6 in the album chart. That would be the last album that Will Smith would come to release. What came after was features and scores for movies, with the biggest being the soundtrack for the 2019 remake of Aladdin, which actually managed to go gold. He also featured on the 2018 Russian World Cup song with Nicky Jam. And with that, we can now answer that question I posed at the start. How good was Will Smith actually? In terms of accolades, The Fresh Prince has 4 Grammys, 15 platinum certifications, a #1 single, 6 gold certifications, and a heap of MTV Video Awards. In terms of accolades, he is the greatest rapper to ever come out of Philadelphia, and top 10 in terms of sales and awards. But in terms of actual rap, I personally think he was an innovator with his style, being that 99% of his songs are not explicitly rated, but a lot of the topics in his raps are, like his first song ever, Girls Ain't Nothing But Trouble, with him touching subjects of rape and aggravated assault. I think XXL sums up his rap career perfectly, the most important rapper of all time. He allowed for those with musical and rap talent to go into the venture of acting. Many have followed in his footsteps, like Ludacris and Eminem, just to name a few. In terms of critical acclaim, I think he's probably the rapper with the most mixed reviews of all time. Some people have given his album 5 stars, whilst others have given him 3 out of 10s. There used to be a massive stigma around him in terms of his rap style, where if you said that you liked Will Smith the rapper, then you were criticised for not having good taste. Die-hard hip-hop fans will tell you that he was a terrible rapper, but others say that his music is very enjoyable. He was definitely put under the thumb of many rap listeners because he is such a massive celebrity, which I think is a bit unjust. Just let the guy make music and enjoy it. To put this long story short, How good was Will Smith the rapper actually? Well, he was very good and important for the scene. Hopefully this video has answered the question fully and honestly. Let me know in the comments down below what you think of Will Smith as a rapper, and if you think he deserved the Grammys he got. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this.